Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so back here tonight with our actual live PC build. So we've got a 4080 rig here to put together tonight. And we've got a nice storm heading our way down here at Underwood. So it's not too bad. It's more like heavy rain.
Yeah,
not
it's
really.
pretty much over for us, really.
Not really too much of a storm. Enough to piss you off.
Yeah, and enough to make it humid.
Yeah. Probably not the best shirt to be wearing, but I mean it's the 1st of March now, so how much hotter can it get?
Don't jinx us.
Don't jinx us, yes.
Next week we have like a heat wave or some shit.
I know. That'd be just my luck. No, well we've been pretty good in this part of the world.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty good. You can't really
actually.
complain about the weather.
No. It
Yeah.
hasn't flooded, it hasn't
Not since about a year ago when the floods happened. It's been a pretty good year, you know. Alrighty, so let's get stuck right into this build tonight because it's getting pretty late. We've got the i7-12700F 12-core 20-thread CPU. We've got an MSI Pro Z690-A Wi-Fi DDR4 motherboard. We've got a MSI Ventus 3X RTX 4080. We've got a Gigabyte UD 850 watt power supply. This is a really good power supply. This one comes with a 10-year warranty, 80 plus gold, so ticks a lot of boxes. Then we've got some extra fans. We've got the Deep Cool LS720 cooler. So this is a great quality cooler. This one, even if the RGB is a little bit confusing for some people. Yeah, like I was talking to a guy about this today, and he was like, he was just disappointed because he wanted to get like all the same fans for his case, and I was like, oh, like sometimes I get them spare. Alternatively, you can give them to me because I can use them in people's builds when they order a cooler like this. But he didn't know that he could actually hook up like 9 fans in like a daisy chain in terms of the RGB and fans without it fucking up. So that's the beauty of a powered controller. Anyway, we got a 32 gigabyte kit of RAM here. We've got a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD, and we've got the the Antec D Flux 700 case. So I'll spit it out eventually. But let's get started. So I've got a couple of hard drives down here as well, but they're not actually for this build. Or actually, have I made a mistake? No, I don't think so. I don't think I have a hard drive in this build. I don't think. I'll double check that before we ship it out. How about that? This customer has got their PC thanks to Zip. So we take Zip for all of your payments. So if you want to get a new build and you just want to pay it off, you want to get it now and pay it off over the next 6 months, Zip's the way to do it. Buy now, pay later. So basically, as far as I'm concerned, I get paid straight away for it. Zip essentially charge you monthly fees. It's not like insanely high. It's like $5-6 a month or something. They charge you those fees, and then you've got a 6-month interest-free period to pay it back. So just make sure you pay back the balance to Zip within that 6 months, and you're pretty much home free. There is a transaction fee on my end for Zip. I can't avoid that, unfortunately. Zip won't give me a lower rate, so I have to stay on the rate that I stay on, and I can't offer it without passing on some of that as a transaction fee. Boom, boom. But yeah, no, it's pretty standard actually in this industry, because they don't make much of a they don't really make any concession for the fact that we're a high dollar value, low margin business. So the percentage rate that they charge is too high for most businesses like mine to absorb. So yeah.
Eddie says hi, how are we?
Hey Eddie, how you going? Good to have you with us. And Andrew, is it?
Yes, he says hi Tim, just wondering what the wait time is for a custom PC.
So I try and run with a 96-hour turnaround on most PCs. It's sometimes a bit longer if it's something like a custom loop or something like that, or something that we need to order in special parts for. But for the vast majority of builds, I try and get them done within 96 hours of payment. So
Nationwide.
Yeah, and we ship nationwide. So you, no matter where you are, you can get one. It's not a problem. Alright, so we'll chuck in our NVMe SSD just because it was the first thing in my hand. I really should have cleaned up. Oh, here we are. It's like I really should have cleaned up my desk today, but it just gets busy, I'm at that awkward, my business is at like a bit of an awkward size where I'm too small to hire someone full time who can take orders and do quotes. But I'm kind of, I'm sort of damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Yeah, you got a nice big pile of crap next to you.
Yeah. So like, I don't have the hours in my day.
Like I can see the rates thing. You've got clock there.
Yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff there in my in tray, basically, which is just a pile of crap beside my desk. But the thing is, right, you might say, well, why don't you just do it if you sit here all day? It's like, well, the thing is, right, if I stop doing the quotes and I stop doing the consultations with customers, then I stop selling the PCs. And if I stop selling the PCs, then I stop getting paid. If I stop getting paid, well, shit happens then.
There might not even be a Tim's PC. We won't be able to pay our rent.
Yeah.
We might lose the house.
Yeah. Bad things happen. And we're not even that bad compared to some people.
No.
Like
we have a roof over our heads.
well, not even that. I just mean in terms of like the mortgage paying.
Oh yeah.
Like I've come off a fixed rate on my mortgage, which is basically a cheaper rate as long as you promise to not pay back too much debt. That's basically how it works. So that might sound a little bit strange, but that's kind of how it works. They don't want you to pay the debt back fast.
No,
that's the last thing they want. They want to earn every bit of money that they can from you. So if they give you a cheaper rate, you've got to promise them not to pay back too much, not more than $500, or they'll start charging you fees for that. Yeah, they don't miss you. They don't miss you. They do not miss you. Okay, so let's get our cooler attached to the motherboard now that we've got the RAM, the SSD, and the CPU in place.
I really like the new console that they've got.
Well, it's now a premium product. This is now no longer, the cheap deep coolers that are like $80 and stuff like that. That's not what this is anymore. We've now got a re-engineered deep cool cooler that, you know, I would probably give, you know, a solid 4 stars to, I think.
I'd probably give it 4.5. But
yeah, 4.5. I'm happy to go 4.5. I'm nothing sort of makes me grit my teeth and go, yeah, I don't think so. The only thing I'd mark it down for is just the RGB, but the thing is, I'm not too concerned. I just wish in like with this new cooler, I wish they released the extra fans, just so people would be able to buy the exact model fans to sort of sync it up together. That would be good.
So, Andrew says, okay, great. Send you a message tonight that we'd like to have a chat about getting a PC built within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, no worries. If you'd like to chat on the phone or in person, just let me know. So I can meet. Well, yeah, we'll definitely be in. Sorry, on the phone. Because yeah, we don't have a teleporter yet, and Tamworth is a solid 6.5 hours drive from me, and that's if you speed a little bit, right?
Well,
you know.
We all do 120 on the highway. What are you talking about?
Yeah. In Tamworth. Is it? I can't remember. Is it the 3rd or 4th largest inland city of Australia? It's one of the two. It's up there. Like, you got Canberra, you got Toowoomba, and you got Tamworth. Tamworth's the biggest one that I can think of in New South Wales that's not on the coastal plain. So I'm assuming that they'd be number 3 or 4 or something like that.
You should know. You have
I'm the geography person. I should know. Okay, so this cooler here, we've got pre-applied thermal compound. We're going to get out our Intel brackets here. And we've got these screws here. So first things first, we gotta get some of these brackets onto our actual cooler. So we've got pre-applied thermal compound. Oh, need my other hand for this. Yeah.
Sorry to comment. You need to buy the Windows so I can use it fully.
What's that?
Tonight's PC. Did you reinstall Windows?
Yeah. It should reactivate from your other install if you are activated on that. Because activation goes to your CPU and motherboard. So you should just have to log into your Microsoft account, and if it's asking you to delete anything, delete it and re-add your new PC, and it should come back for you. Yeah.
Andrew says yes on the phone would be great.
Yeah, no worries. Just send me a message and we'll work something out. You'll get there eventually. Sometimes I can be a little bit hard to get a hold of. Yeah, I play phone tag with a lot of people sometimes, but that's just life, right? Okay, so we're gonna mount our.
That's funny. The new tropical cyclone's called Judy.
Tropical Cyclone Judy, that's my mum's name.
Yeah.
Jesus, hopefully it shouldn't be it shouldn't be too intense because she's pretty nice. Hopefully Tropical Cyclone Judy is as nice as
it actually looks pretty bad.
Judy.
Though. Just moved through Vanuatu, just travel south. And there's another tropical low hanging out just behind it.
Oh, yep.
So it's going to move through Vanuatu as well.
Okay. So you want to put on your offsets. So there's ones for LGA 1700 and other, and there's also the bolts for LGA 2011. Okay, so then the only thing you've really got to do with this is just route the cable where you want it to be. So if you want it to go behind the offsets, you better hold it in place. And so that can be a little bit challenging sometimes, because you definitely don't want to tie this down with a cable stuck on top of your CPU. You'll have a bad time with that.
So, Andrew wants to know, in question, am I able to send you hard drives from my current PC and have you put them in a new one?
Yeah, or you know, you don't have to send them to me. We can, if you need assistance moving them into the new PC, I can send you the new PC all ready to go, with the cables kind of in place, and then all you need to do is unscrew them from your current PC and screw them into the new PC. So that's probably safer and cheaper than you sending me the drives. If they're SSDs, that's fine. Like they've got no moving parts, so they're pretty good in the mail. However, a hard drive, you gotta pack it right.
Yeah, because like if you drop it.
Yeah, they're sensitive to shocks, so you've got to be a little bit careful. You could lose all your stuff on them. But yeah, I'm more than happy to walk you through moving the drives over to a new PC. So yeah, more than happy to help with that. Because I mean, if say for example, if we put it in a case like this one, the Antec D700 Flux, we've got room for 3 3.5-inch drives and 3 2.5-inch drives at the back. So behind this back panel, you don't see anything up front, but your drives will be at the back there. And so depending on how many drives you have to go over, I can just put the cables in place, and I can route all the cables to where the drives are going to be, and then all you need to do is basically just a bit of screw work. So most people should be fine with that. So it's pretty simple, and if your drives are coming out of another computer and they're already in use, there's no setup as such. Once we plug them in to your new computer, they'll get recognized as additional drives, and you'll see them in Windows. You won't need any other setup for them. So you don't need to have any real technical knowledge, just a screwdriver, and yeah, I'll help you through. Alright, so now we get to the part where this cooler becomes a little bit more confusing, because we've got these interesting fans. They're actually quite nice fans. I like them. I like the how they chain up and stuff like that. I've used them a few times. The only downside is just when it comes to scalability. You've only got these 3 that come with the cooler, and I can't see the same fans at major retailers, so it's sort of leaving me go, what the hell's going on here? Okay. Alrighty. So they kind of link together and chain in together, sort of like the Leon Lee uni fans do. How they're sort of all connected through the same cable. It's meant to make it easier, but I don't know. Is it? I guess maybe it's somewhat easier to an end user. I mean, I look at it and I go, how is this any quicker, really? Because if it's not quicker, from my perspective, it's not really any different. It's all about how efficient you can do it. What's up? Sorry?
Just been learning stuff about that stars thing that people can do for you to do this, and to enable it. So you can actually earn money from this.
Yeah, but don't you need 10,000? Don't you need 10,000 follows? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll leave it open so you know all about it. Oh, thank you. Eddie sent you 200 stars.
Ah, cool.
And so kind.
Thank you
so
very much. Yeah.
Andrew says, I'll have a 3K budget. I would like a PC with some sort of cool factor, lots of RGB plus
Yep.
enough to run Call of Duty and simulation games. Oh,
Yep.
you might, depending if you like white, you might like my PC that's going to go up for sale soon.
Yeah. And with one more, that is our chain.
Check out this drone picture from Green Bay.
Oh yeah.
King tide, that's why all the dirt's in the ocean. So it's all tied out.
Oh. Yes, I'm with you. Alrighty, so our radiator is all chained up. We've got our addressable cables and power cable down this end. And so our pump RGB plus the fans is all running through this. Yeah.
Andrew's just not a fan of liquid cooling.
Just not a fan of liquid cooling. Yeah, okay. I mean,
That's fair enough.
the
You can get some pretty cool air coolers.
the thing is though, right? When we install liquid coolers, or certainly when I do, because we're not like what's the best way to explain this? It's not like we're in the middle of COVID anymore and graphics cards are super expensive or anything like that. So we're at the point now where we've got pretty good coolers at a pretty good price. So people think that, oh, liquid cooling, the number one failure of that's going to be leaks. That's not actually the case. So normally if the liquid cooler fails, it's the pump that dies. It's not that they leak. Okay? Can you imagine like how much damage you can do to your brand by having a liquid cooler and then having it like fail catastrophically and short out someone's computer, like have water spraying everywhere? Do you know how catastrophic that could be to your brand if you don't like basically buy every customer a new PC? So you could either destroy all the profitability that you've got in the product, or yeah. Hey David, how you going? The thing you got to remember about a liquid cooler though is that a liquid cooler, it's not like this is doing some different sort of cooling compared to an air cooler. An air cooler, see this big radiator that we've got here? An air cooler just has the radiator like strapped to the top of the CPU, and it's got fans directly on the radiator. And with a liquid cooler, it's just, the liquid isn't really to cool, the liquid is just a vector of heat transfer between the radiator and the CPU. The advantage here is that we can take all of the heat from the CPU and with liquid move it up here to the top of the case, and we can just vent it out the top. So we don't have any heat from the CPU blowing back inside the case, heating things up. So that's probably the main thing, other than aesthetics, why people prefer to go with these sort of solutions. And this is what we call an AIO, or an all-in-one liquid cooler. And what that means is that it's a factory sealed loop. These are produced in a factory, they're tested, and then they're sent out. So basically, I'm pretty confident in putting these in people's computers, even if they're just ordinary users. They've got no idea about any of this sort of stuff, because at the end of the day, it's just another cooler. If they have a bad experience and one dies early, it'll be under warranty, so then they've got the choice whether they want to put another one on or whether they want an air cooler. They can swap back if they want. Really not too much of a problem, and the only difference in performance has to do with how much extra radiator you can mount to the top of a CPU compared to how much radiator you can get like mounted somewhere else in the case. So don't ever like don't listen to rumors that the main thing that goes wrong is they leak, because that's just not the case. Maybe that was the case, 10 years ago, but even then, considering the design has pretty much stayed the same, I would be guessing that we'd be seeing the same kinds of failures. Yeah.
Davis has made I learn so much every stream, thanks to him.
Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. I mean, like, that's the...
Sorry, I mean the one with all the parts, like custom loops.
A custom loop, yeah, custom water cooling. Yeah, look, it's a lot more expensive. Certainly right now it's a lot more expensive, and it doesn't get you. The only reason you do it is because of looks. Okay, you're not doing a custom loop.
Like always wanted one.
Yeah, you've always wanted one.
Like all the cleaning.
You committed to higher levels of maintenance, more expensive servicing. You committed to all that. You just want this fully sick custom water cooled PC, and that's fine. There's no problems. There's no problems with that, and we can make that happen. That's no problem at all. But the thing is, if you're after just price performance, then it doesn't make any sense at all, because you'll pay thousands of dollars extra for that. And I've spoken to people all around the country, and basically due to the potential of like a problem and more labor going into the upkeep and the warranty and all that kind of thing, most places don't do it for, basically it'll end up with all the parts and extra little bits and pieces that you have to buy with it. It's going to end up over $2,000 more expensive for the labor, the parts, everything else. So unless you've got a couple of grand to piss away on it, and you're really, really keen, I don't even recommend it. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it for anyone. But the thing is, if you're after just price performance, you can't beat the all-in-one liquid cooler solution. I mean, check it out online. Have a look and make up your own mind. You don't even have to listen to me. All the information's out there. There's a million different sources on what the advantage of custom water cooling is, and basically that has to do with the fact that, see how we've just got the one radiator here. Well, we could potentially have 3 radiators if we had a case that fit a radiator on the bottom, a radiator on the front, and a radiator on the top. We could potentially do a loop with 3 radiators. So 3 times the surface area for dissipating heat from your computer. That's gonna lead to some pretty, like, a tangible difference in performance. But when we've got like the same amount of radiators, or even just one extra radiator, you're not going to notice a big difference in performance. You'll notice a couple of degrees temperature. It's not like it's going to be 20 degrees cooler or something like that, because it's not like these units are crap. I mean, you can get crap ones that are cheap, but this unit here, for example, is $200. This is excellent value for a cooler with a 5-year warranty, and that's why I've been using them a lot recently. Because it doesn't make sense to spend money on, it doesn't make any sense to pay an extra $100 for a cooler with the same sort of warranty and same sort of quality and performance when there's a cheaper solution, unless the customer, knows it by brand and wants that certain brand. Okay, go to my pile of uncrushed boxes. So this is the brand of power supply that the Gamers Nexus completely trashed last year. And I guess it's been an overall positive, because now they've released a slightly rebranded version of the aforementioned power supplies. But they've upped the warranty. They've gone from 5-year warranty to a 10-year warranty. And so if you know anything about power supplies, you'll know that the ones with a 10-year manufacturer's warranty are the ones with the best quality capacitors and stuff, and the best build quality inside the unit. Whether it's gold or platinum and titanium, whatever, like, if you see 10-year warranty on it, it's the parts inside it are top quality. You're not going to be getting any sort of fundamentally better quality parts inside it, because the manufacturer is not going to warrant power supply for 10 years unless they're pretty bloody confident that 99% of their stock is, or more in many cases, is going to last more than that 10-year warranty. Because that's how you completely destroy all the profitability for your product, by doing that, right? Okay, so we're going to need 2 CPUs and 2 PCIEs. Now we don't have an ATX3 power supply here. They are still really expensive. It's okay if you've got the budget for it. Yeah. Yeah, 100%, 100%. You're better off. You're better off in terms of what your money's going to buy you, essentially. And I mean, like, it's not like there's not good-looking all-in-one liquid coolers. There's even bloody RGB pipe things that you can stick over the pipes, because the pipes don't light up colourful enough for you.
That's what I have.
She's got it.
I have everything RGB in my computer.
Oh. Are you going to list it for sale?
Mm. I have to wait till my PC is restarted because Armory Crate doesn't want to work.
Oh. Armory Crate.
I didn't update and now it just... Yeah.
Going to install Armory Crate.
Oh, it's usually fine. It's just it had an update and needs another update to restart before it works. It's fine.
This is fine. You know the meme of the dog in the fire in the house? This is fine.
Well, you're Ralph Wiggum. I'm on fire.
Yeah. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Alright. Power supply. Check. Fans. Check. So one thing you can get again is 3-pack of these MSI fans. Now the trick is, right? The trick is you need to order them with your deflux, and you probably want one that has a has their own architecture for the fans, because you get a 6-device fan and RGB cooler in this case, and you normally only use that one controller for all of your RGB, so it's all hooked up through the same circuit, right? But if you get one of these coolers with a brand that has their own RGB connections and architecture, then you can just buy one of these cheap 3-packs that aren't daisy chainable, and they don't have a controller or an RGB splitter with them. So most people don't have endless RGB ports on their case. So when we get the fan here that has the extra RGB on it, and we can pick them up for $35, that's a bargain. Like, I normally sell RGB fans for $15 to $20 each. $35, like, that's already cheap, man. That's cheap. Okay, expensive ones are like $60 each. When we get down to like the lowest levels, it's harder and harder to get each dollar. So these are down to basically $11.66 each. That's what that works out to be.
Not too bad.
That's a good price for 3 RGB fans. You just need a controller with 3 spare RGB and fan ports. So if you're getting the Deflux series of case and you wanted to add some extra fans, we can do it really cheaply. That's good, right? Because despite what some people think, you can actually mount 9 fans in this case. 9 fans. 9 of them. So just as many fans as a Leon Lee Dynamic 11. And I mean, you could like you could tape on some fans and stick some on the wall there, I guess, if you wanted to as well. Yeah.
Robert says, so the PSU you're putting in now was so bad about last year's and there was parts inside?
No. So that's a good follow-up question. I probably got a bit sidetracked there when I was talking about that. So what happened was Gamers Nexus did a review about a power supply and basically showed everyone the power of YouTube that year in terms of reviews and stuff, because they basically said that, yep, these are horrible power supplies, absolute shit, blah 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 blah, everyone in the world stop buying this power supply. Only the issue that he had with them was only on the models for sale in North America. So everyone else in the world who was buying and had that power supply didn't have a problem with it at all. But he made sales drop so much that all through Europe and stuff like that, they stopped selling them, and Gigabyte basically ended up dumping all the stock. They because I know that because they ended up being sold at like a very heavy discount, like 33 to 40 plus % off. So you just know at that stage that something's a bit of a miss there, right? And I put 2 and 2 together because yeah, I wouldn't say I follow Gamers Nexus, but if there's something big and controversial going on, I'll definitely get to it. Now, during all the shit with them, we had to deal with customers freaking out about them and stuff. So I had to explain to a lot of people that it was just a batch issue, just North America. Yeah, some people are just like, nah, I can't, no.
Yeah, and they flat out didn't believe you as well sometimes.
Yeah, I lost sales for suggesting it and stuff like that. People were like, oh, have you not heard what Gamers Nexus said about this power supply? And it's like, I was talking to my friends in the industry who own other businesses, like big businesses like Cataclysm Computers, Radium, Titan Tech, to name a few. Talking to the managers and owners of these businesses, and we're all using these power supplies. And I was talking to Isaac from Titan Tech, and I'm like, how many of these units have you sold in the last 6 months? He's like, about 220 850 watts and about 140 750 watts. So, and I'm like, how many returns have you had? He's like, none. Every single one is still in a customer's computer. I'm like, there we go. We've got no issue here in Australia. there was no batch issue that affected our stock. So yeah, quite irresponsible because they totally had everyone up in arms about it and freaking out about it last year, and yeah, it was all a bit silly. I mean, I guess that's what YouTube channels, big YouTube channels do. They try to make everything as controversial as possible to drive engagement to the channel and all that. So I can't even fully blame them, but yeah, that was big. The fact that, you know, one person's YouTube channel, one person's opinion, and it had basically everyone in the market freaking out. Okay, so these two fans on the bottom, they're not really needed from an airflow dynamic perspective. So I'm going to hook them up to the bottom two fan headers on the motherboard there. And basically, we're gonna program them to run on as little speed as possible. We just don't need it. Here we are. But hey, it's a win for consumers because now Gigabyte have 10-year warranties on their power supplies, and they are not much more expensive than the markdown prices before that I was talking about from last year. So basically, this is an 850 watt, right? And so this is now like $130-ish Australian. Comes with a 10-year warranty, and so during the markdown period, where there was heaps of cheap Gigabyte 850 watt power supplies, they only had a 5-year warranty, and they were selling for $100. So to come up and have a warranty that competes with most power supplies that are like $200 plus, that's pretty good at $139. Still really good value. They've obviously used more expensive capacitors inside the units now and stuff like that. So I guess they're just hoping to gain some of the trust back with consumers after all that. I'm just like, why didn't you like before you went live, like before Games Nexus went live and said all that? Why would they not like contact Gigabyte and just be like, hey, so this is happening. Fucking, we're doing a review about it. What do you want to do? How do you want to manage this kind of thing? Yeah. Facebook's what?
No, I said Legend. Thanks for explaining.
Oh, explaining that. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I saw that look. I saw that look.
I'm sorry.
Fuck me dead. She gets the shits with me that I can't read lips, and then she gets the shits with me that my ears are like full of wax. It really bothers her, man. I don't know why. It just really bothers her. You should have seen what I just saw. I know! You don't have to tell me. Now I'm the one being watched.
Anyway.
Alrighty, so all these cables here, you can just tuck them behind the lip of the case here. You just put one cable tie there. And that's everything looking nice. So you can bolt a hard drive to the wall here. You can bolt a 2.5-inch SSD down here. Two more 2.5-inch SSDs there. And you can fit another two 3.5-inch hard drives in there. So plenty of room for expansion. But that's everything on this end. Now it's time to get the motherboard in the case. I think we're running bloody late tonight. 20 to 10. Bloody hell. PC Master Race post had a good post about these, about how sharp they are, and like one of the sharpest objects in the universe.
Yeah, I put it up there. With
it'll slice right through you, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Before we go any further, when you top mount a 360mm radiator in this case, you do have to drop down that rear fan. But we've got all of our offsets in the right position because we've got a full-size ATX board in an ATX case. Yay! So that doesn't happen too often. Because normally when we build a gaming PC for someone, they're on a budget and we just try and get them as much graphics card as we can possibly get them. But in this case, customer had requested a Z690 motherboard, so we were already in the ballpark for this. There was no deal on a like a micro ATX motherboard that was the same chipset, so there was no money to be saved by going with a smaller board, and it would have been inconsequential overall. It wouldn't have gotten us up to 4090 money. Because it's still, yeah, 4090 is still quite a bit more expensive than 4080. It's still like $700-800 more expensive. Geez, I wonder what the 4090 Ti is going to be like. I had someone ask for that a little while ago, but yeah, they don't make it yet. Ti is unreleased. I think we're expecting it. If you're a real PC hardware nerd and you want to learn where I learn bits and pieces about PC, and especially where I keep up to date with like leaks and new stuff that's coming out before I even like to talk about it here, you can go to another channel called Moore's Law is Dead. You'll find them on YouTube. He's got shitloads of subscribers, and yeah, he covers all this sort of shit. He has friends in high places, basically. Okay, we've got our board all screwed in there. So next we'll mount our radiator. So super simple stuff. Once you get to the point where you're mounting your radiator, you've done all the hard stuff. Well, you should have done all the hard stuff. Now, don't freak out too much with your radiator if you can't, if there's metal blocking a couple of the bolt holes or something like that. Don't freak out about that. I mean, technically, you could just do 4 bolts and that would really be sort of secured enough. But in my opinion, if you can get twice as many in, that's twice as unlikely to fall out on you. Because I mean, I've seen some stuff. Screws can come loose. One of my only 3-star reviews, because most of them are 5-star, right? One of my only 3-star reviews has they reckon they went and moved their computer this is like going back years ago, like back to like 2020 or something, and they're like, oh, but we went to move our computer and in the car some of the bolts fell out and this has soured the experience for us. What? Yeah, customer from years ago left a 3-star review because apparently bolts fell out of the motherboard when they moved. So I'm on the back of a truck or something like that. I don't know.
That's a little bit retarded. Stupid. Didn't say that.
Yeah, I know. I was just.
Once, and our video got banned.
Yeah.
You didn't hear?
No. No one heard that.
No, of course not.
Okay. Alrighty, so we'll lift her up. We can get that other fan at the back in place. Okay, so we got 2 CPU power connectors. They both looked pretty much nicely accessible. Yes. Yeah.
But it says the 3060 Ti who got advertised for 1,009.
Yep.
What sort of games would you be able to play on like 1080, 40, to play with the PS?
Yeah, absolutely.
Upgrade the graphics.
The only drawback and the only reason why it's so cheap is that it's got an X mining card in it. So it sort of runs a little bit hotter and stuff like that. But it still runs. So, you know, I may as well chuck it in a PC for someone. No point going, oh, it runs a little bit warm. Oh, better chuck it in the bin now. Like, that doesn't make sense. So it's probably the reason why it hasn't sold, is people are scared. But I'm just like, I've just got it advertised and then I just let people know beforehand. What's up?
You didn't let me finish.
Yeah.
You wanted to know if you can upgrade it later date.
Yep. It's a perfect starting point. It's a perfect start. Well, I mean, eventually everything needs to be upgraded, right? So the thing to remember, it's a great starter PC for someone. That's sort of what it's aimed at. So it's the sort of PC that you can upgrade in time. So I think if I remember correctly, it does have a new power supply, and the SSD is new, and I think the RAM is new. So those parts are new. It's got a used motherboard, used CPU, used cooler, used case, and obviously used graphics card. Ah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay. So we've got our SATA cables to plug in. So we've got one for our what do you call it? Our pump and RGB and fans, and then we've got one here. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you can always find used ones. I mean, I'm always sort of on the hunt for like reasonable priced used parts, so I can put together cheaper PCs for people to build and stuff like. Sorry, for people to get. Put together PCs for people to build. I mean, we can do that too if you really want. Sell you a kit of parts. You can get support while you build it. Well, some support. I can't be there with you every step of the way. You have to get some of it right on your own. Okay. So we've got a couple of fans here, and so we're going to plug them in up the top of our motherboard. Because we've got a full 8 fan headers on this motherboard. But these two at the bottom, want them plugged in at the bottom. Okay. Oh, okay. So we got those two fans plugged in at the bottom, and we've just got our front panel audio to plug in. Oh, is this giving me drivers? There we go. Alrighty, now we've got our front panel connectors. So these are the ones that plenty of people hate. Things I learned from bloody memes on Facebook. I've been freaking plugging these bastards in my whole life, so this is just normal to me. But yeah, apparently people hate them. Alright, that should be good. There we go, very nice. Okay, so that is our rig minus the graphics card. Da-da-dum. So here it is, our graphics card. It's like too big for the bag. Go douche. So these things here, they look really chunky, but the actual board only comes to there. So all this extra is just the radiators that they're strapping to it. As you can see, you've got about as much radiator on the card here as a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. And so, you know, one of the things that people are freaking out about is graphics cards sag. So there's a couple of things I do to get around that. One is I route the cables from the top, and that gives a bit of extra support down this end of the graphics card. The other thing I do is I educate people about how it's usually this bit of aluminium at the back that starts to bend, not so much the actual motherboard. And I need to remove one extra slot because it's actually a 3-slot monster card that we've got going in. And so you can use a graphics card holder bracket. I normally don't bother with them, as in, like, I don't bother with them. And the reason is primarily, I would say that the main reason why I don't use them is because they get in the way of stuff down there. Like if we put another bracket in here, you wouldn't even be able to reach these two M2 slots on the board. So if we wanted to add some extra storage, it'd be pretty bloody hard to do that. And also these triple slot cards do a little bit to sort of solve the sag issue that people are freaking out about. See, it's one of those things that consumers get really thingy about. They read one report, they're like, graphics cards are causing sagging of the motherboard, and it's like they've got like the most extreme case possible that the media's going nuts over. But yeah, going triple slot at the back means that the metal is like a little bit, it's a bit bigger, it's got a couple of extra bolts, it's less weight on those bolts at the back. So but I always ship the support bracket in for people. I mean, they're pretty easy to install yourself. Just go on the bottom there. And this is the beast that we need for this. So basically it was get this or spend double on the power supply to get one that has this 12x16 connector on it. Okay. So you do want to get a bit of a cable tie in there to sort of neaten these up a little bit, because they do look a little bit clunky and untidy. Can we push that to the back? Yes, we can. And just like the other, we'll also put a cable tie around our 3 connectors here. So I'll stick these through down under here. Okay, and so there we've got our 3 connectors there sort of at the back. Makes it a bit neater. These through back here a bit more. Yeah. And just having that extra bit of support there at the back. These cables sort of, yeah. It just means there's a little bit more holding on to our graphics card than just the 3 bolts at the back. Okay. So that is a rig. And so you've got plenty of room. You should never have any problems closing an Antec deflux case. It should just get put on quite easily with the case standing up. No need to press down on it. There's plenty of room back there. And now we have this weapon of a PC. So it's been a bloody while. We got there eventually. Okay, so moment of truth. That's looking alive. CPU or memory changed. Yeah. For serious. Okay. So enable our XMP profile and we will do something with our fans. Okay.
I seriously need to use
Mm.
there's 2 of them in
Okay. That's our fans all tuned the way I want them.
Stop it! I think they're starting to fight.
Oh.
I think that's what they're doing. They're not trying to get it.
Yeah. That's why he looks sad.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He thinks he's going to feel like this forever now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we had a puppy took a fall off the stairs. We got like planked stairs, and he was coming down. He was just playing around because they're just getting used to going down the backyard now. He's alright. He hurt his paw. And he's just been moping around today. Happened yesterday. The poor little dog probably thinks that he's gonna like have a sore paw forever. Okay, so we don't have any internet or network being detected. And that's where my little generic Wi-Fi dongle comes in handy, because it will connect to the network. Okay, we'll get this set up quickly. Yep, and our USB drive has been installed. If you ever see it sort of just stop there and the mouse disappears, that's what's going on. Alright, there's our graphics card driver. Okay. Alright, we're nearly there. Okay, we're nearly done, we're nearly done. Alright, we'll set up MSI Afterburner here. Okay. This one's going over to Perth, GTM plus 8. Okay, so that'll do its thing. You've had a fluffy now, Tim. You're lucky you're not having a fluffy mouth. Ah. Okay. Alrighty, so let's have a look and see how this thing's running. Oh, what am I doing? We just run this one at the out of the box settings here, so high, no anti-aliasing. And so that number there, below RAMs, how many frames per second it's running at. And this is 1080p, high settings. Alrighty, so that was heaven there on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. Next we'll run Valley. So Valley's a more demanding benchmark and we're running it on higher settings. So Ultra, max anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is like line smoothing. Oh, not yet. Just leave it. Leave it over there. Alrighty, so that was Valley there on Ultra with max anti-aliasing, and finally we'll do our 4K benchmark. Superposition, it's also DirectX 12.
Buddy.
Alrighty, so that was our 4K benchmark. Alrighty, so now we're at the final part of the night where we do the stress test. And so obviously I don't stay live for the whole stress test because it's pretty boring procedure really. It's just one way I can sort of double check everything's working fine. Hopefully if there is a problem, it'll sort of die during my stress test. That's generally the best outcome because it's easy for me to swap out a part now. And so we run it on the graphics card and on the CPU, and this is designed to generate a fair bit of heat as well. Not that we're going to have any problems with this case. So here's our 12-core 20-thread CPU. It's running at 70 degrees there. You might think, oh, that's pretty hot. It's not actually. It can go up to 100 degrees. So it's running exactly how we want it to. Down here, our graphics card. So, geez, it's running really, really cool. It must be those fans blowing onto it. So yeah, basically, the graphics card, the GPU there can get up to 83 degrees. The memory and hotspot, they can get over 100 degrees, to 110 even. So, plenty of headroom there, no issues whatsoever. But we let this one run for a little bit and just to see, and like I said, I'm pretty much a one-man band here, so I need to do what I can to make sure that I don't send a customer anything faulty, because I don't have time to deal with lots of faulty stuff. So if I sell people lots of faulty stuff, then it chews up my time. Anyway, so look, that's where I'll probably leave it for tonight, because I've got some dinner waiting for me that's getting cold on the bench. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.